I once sold a gun. It was a Tanfoglio GT380, imported by Excam. I just finished college. I was scrambling for a job. Scratch that. A career. Broke, henned up, and set adrift. I sold it after I got tired of the frame-to-slide contact damage. Last year I replaced it. I probably won't ever shoot it again. Here we have the Tanfoglio GT380. And here's the Beretta 85bb. Both are single-stack 380s. And some people say they're clones. Or at least this one is a clone of this one. But not really. It's more like this one is a Toyota MR2 and this one is a Pontiac Fiero. Let's start with some external similarities and differences. We can see clearly the frames are pretty similar. A lot of the same styling going on. The Beretta trigger is double action, single action, while the GT380 is single action only. The safeties are not located in the same positions, frame versus slide. There's an extra safety on the GT380 frame. No thumb button mag release like on the 85bb. We can see that the slide is completely open at the end. It is closed on the Beretta and the front sight is on the slide. The front sight is on the barrel on the GT380. In the movies, if you know where the magic button and lever are located, you can disassemble your opponent's Beretta. Just press the button, rotate the magic lever, and blam! Riggs' gun is out of action. On the Tanfoglio, cock the hammer to make it easier to pull the slide back. Place both the safeties in the safe position. Pull the slide all the way back and then lift it up off of the rear and then slide it off the front. The slide, recoil spring, guide rod all come off together and the trigger safety will fall out freely. Here is where you can see exactly why you have to put it in the forward safe position. There's an indention in the safety that allows the guide rod to go back a little bit further, permitting the slide to move back a little bit further and then come off. On the Beretta, the slide, barrel, guide rod, and recoil spring can all hang out together. That's not the case with the GT380. The barrel is mounted to the frame on the GT380, and that is not the case with the Beretta. The ejectors are different, lots of differences inside here. Similar styling, but the guns are not clones of each other, and there are no parts interchangeability between the two. So to say that the GT380 is a clone of the Beretta is not correct. While I have it disassembled, I want to show you the start of some frame slide impact damage. If the recoil spring is worn out, or just underpowered for the rounds being used, it will compress far enough to allow the slide and the frame to contact each other. Eventually, this will stop the gun from cycling. The second thing I wanted to show is the feeding is picky on the type of rounds. Here is a flat nose 380. I'm going to push it forward with my thumb, and it looks like there shouldn't be any issue, but yet it chokes on these flat nose rounds. That might be related to the underpowered or worn out recoil spring. Here, I'll do the same thing with a round nose bullet. Anyway, round nose, no issue. Flat nose and hollow points have issues. I have a new recoil spring on the order from Numrich. I'll give that a whirl and also file down the slide frame damage that's already started. For reassembly, insert the trigger safety with the indention forward in the safe position. Insert the guide rod. Slide the recoil spring over the guide rod with the flared end toward the muzzle. Now insert the spring into the lower part of the slide and pull the slide back over the end of the frame. If we place the trigger safety on fire, the indentation on the safety is now facing towards the rear, blocking the guide rod from being able to move back enough, and the slide will not come off the rear. There are 3 safeties on the GT380. The frame-mounted safety, this will actually disengage the trigger. The slide-mounted safety is a hammer block, which allows you to decock the gun. And then there is a magazine disconnect, so the gun will not fire without the magazine. Let's see them in action. The gun's manually actuated safeties are off and there is no magazine in. The trigger is blocked. The hammer is not released. The gun also does not have a slide lock. The slide will be held open on an empty mag, but releasing the mag allows the slide to go forward. After inserting the magazine, I can now release the hammer by pulling the trigger. The slide safety is a hammer block. Pulling the trigger will release the hammer, but block it from hitting the firing pin. The gun is now decocked. If the trigger safety is engaged, there will be no movement of the trigger. The hammer block safety does not impede the movement of the trigger, again allowing you to decock the gun. The magazine safety will allow some movement of the trigger, but not enough to release the hammer. All 3 safeties need to be disengaged in order to fire the pistol. As a result, the trigger is crap. The Hi-Point C9 has a better trigger. Thanks for sticking with me. Take care.